Part 47. Three Kingdoms, I Have a Job Transfer Palace. Author, Strong Wine Burns the Heart. Chapter 461. So as long as the two of them escape from the city, with the speed of their good horses from the western regions, Li Yuanba will never be able to catch up. However, just as Li Yuanba was the number one hero in the Sui and Tang dynasties, his Wan Liyun was also the best horse in the Sui and Tang dynasties. It not only traveled 1,000 times a day and 800 times a night, but also had amazing endurance. Especially after leaving the city, running between the endless sky and earth, Li Yuanba caught up with him within a short time. At this time, in order to escape for their lives, the two of them had already kept all their soldiers in the city to block Li Yuan's army, so the two people who were now alone would definitely die if they were caught up. Thinking of this, Wang Shishang also became fierce, took out the large carved bow hanging on the saddle, took out 3 arrows from the arrow pot, turned around and shot at Li Yuanba. He originally thought that Li Yuanba was coming quickly. The distance between the two was very close. He would not be able to react and would be shot directly by him. Even if he did not die, he would be injured and unable to pursue. But Li Yuanba had already sensed the danger. When the 3 sharp arrows flew towards him, he relaxed his arms and grabbed the 3 sharp swords that were shot at him with his hand. Later, Li Yuanba, who was furious because of Wang Shishang's secret arrow attack, used all his strength to throw the 3 bows and arrows at Yuan Huaji and Wang Shishang. With Li Yuanba's arm strength, the arrow he threw was much faster than Wang Shishang's bow. Although he himself was not hit by the bow and arrow, his horse fell down in response. The war horse running at high speed suddenly lost its front hooves. Wang Shishang was carried away by the huge inertia and fell heavily. However, before he could struggle to get up, Yuanba had already arrived quickly, swung a sledgehammer and hit him. When Wang Shishang saw this, he instinctively stretched out his arm to block, but he couldn't block it at all. Li Yuanba was smashed into pieces. Sauce. After this delay, Yuan ran a long way. Wang Shishang was thrown out by his horse just now. Yuan Wenji didn't stop at all. Instead, he rode faster. Because he knew that Wang Shishang's war horse was dead. Without the horse, he would not be able to escape Li Yuanba's clutches. Once he turned around to save him, both of them would be overtaken by Li Yuanba. Instead of doing this, it is better to leave Wang Shishang behind and block Li Yuanba for a while to buy himself some time to escape. Therefore, when Wang Shishang saw that Yuan Huaji ran away without caring about him, his heart was filled with sadness. He was defeated by Li Yuan that day and asked him for help. He agreed without hesitation to help him send troops to capture Weigong village. Because he couldn't stop Li Yuanba in Weigong-jai, he deliberately took him with him when he returned to Luoyang. However, when he was in trouble, he ran away without looking back. At this time, Wang Shishang was filled with regret. In order to help Yuan Huaji, he offended Li Yuan, and now he was about to be killed by Li Yuan's son. Yuan Huaji did not care about his life and death and only focused on his own escape. Until his death, Wang Shishang still regretted why he helped Yuan Huaji. However, Yuan Huaji did not remain free for long. Seeing that he ran too fast, Li Yuanba threw the drum, urn, and golden hammer in his hand. Yuan Huaji ran away desperately without noticing what was behind him, and was directly hit to death by Li Yuanba's hammer. Feeler reminds you, 3 things about reading, collecting and recommending. 3 Kingdoms, I Have a Job Transfer Palace. Author, Strong Wine Burns the Heart. Chapter 462. After killing Yuan Huaji and Wang Shishang, Li Yuanba cut off their heads and brought them back to Luoyang city. At this time, as Li Tang's army fully entered Luoyang, Wang Shishang's Luoyang defenders were leaderless and unable to resist. Li Yuanji took the opportunity to spread the news that Wang Shishang and Yuan Huaji had escaped from the West Gate, and the defenders in the city immediately gave up resistance. At this time, these soldiers were extremely angry. In the city, he resisted desperately for Wang Shishang and Yu Wenhuaji's orders and fought with Li Tang's army. However, the two of them turned around and used their side to attract Li Tang's attention, leaving their soldiers behind and running away alone. When they thought that their lord who had been loyal to them for many years was so greedy for life and feared death that he even fled alone regardless of the lives of his soldiers, they all wanted to kill Wang Shishang and Yu Wenhua with their own hands. So when Li Yuanba returned to Luoyang city with the heads of the two men, their soldiers suddenly burst into cheers when they saw the two men dead, and knelt down to swear allegiance to Li Yuan on the spot. After all, Li Yuan was in power for the people in Taiyuan and loved his soldiers as his sons. This has long been known to the world. Therefore, Li and Tang's army under his command were like an arm and a finger. Li Yuan personally commanded every battle, and even his sons personally went into battle to fight against them. Soldiers kill the enemy together. The entire Li family's attitude towards their soldiers moved all the Li and Tang soldiers very much, and they would do their best in every battle just to repay the Li family for their kindness. Compared with Li Yuan's family, Wang Shishang, Yu Wenhua, and their soldiers suddenly had a huge gap, so they were all full of illusions about joining the Li family army. In addition, Li Yuan has someone like Li Yuanba. He is as powerful as 1,000,000 troops on the battlefield, so there is almost no possibility of defeat. Even those who had not participated in the battle of the 16th Root King siege of Wei County had seen its strength in today's siege and the battle in Weigongji not long ago. Li Yuan's army only sent one person, and the other soldiers did not go into battle, so they killed the coalition forces of Yu Wenhuaji and Wang Shishang until they lost their armor. After they took refuge in Li Tang, they could win future battles without even going into battle, which was very important for the soldiers who charged forward. Because Li Yuanba could win a battle by himself without them having to go to the battlefield, it meant that there was almost no chance of them being sacrificed. As the saying goes, a good bird chooses a tree to roost in, and a good minister chooses his master to serve. When the two are combined, Yu Wenhuaji and Wang Shishang's soldiers will have no psychological barriers to surrendering to Li Yuan's army. After capturing Luoyang, Li Yuan, with Li Yuanji and Li Yuanba, continued to march west to attack Chang'an, and joined the armies of Li Shimin and Li Ziyuning. At the same time, because of the relatively powerful princes in the world, apart from Li Tang, it seems that only the Shenlong Empire, which has a small number of troops but extremely powerful combat effectiveness, is left. So Li Yuan decided to go to war with the Dragon Kingdom, and sent Li Yuanji and Li Yuanba as vanguards to take the lead in going south to attack the Dragon Kingdom. After Li Yuanba heard Li Yuan's order, he clapped his hands excitedly. Since his father allowed him to go to the battlefield, although he has killed countless enemies, he has never met an opponent who can make him express his nature. To read the ununderlined version of the novel, please download Fei Lu Xiao. You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. 3 Kingdoms, I Have a Job Transfer Palace. Author, Strong Wine Burns the Heart. Chapter 463. When he defeated Yuan Chengdu with 3 moves, Li Yuanba felt that Yuan Chengdu was too weak. But now he discovered that Yuan Chengdu was already the most powerful opponent he had ever seen. He has yet to meet another person who can take 3 of his moves without dying, let alone 3 moves, even one who can take the next one. Therefore, although Li Yuanba fights with others almost every day, every time he kills a group of people with 1 blow, which is like an adult killing several flies with 1 blow, which makes him completely uninterested. But since Li Yuanba learned that Lu Feng, the emperor of the Shenlong Empire, had killed Yuan Chengdu with 4 moves, he suddenly felt as if he had found his opponent. At least using Yuan Chengdu as a reference, the Dragon Emperor should be about the same strength as himself. Although he used 1 more move to defeat Yuan Chengdu than himself, he only used 3 moves to defeat Yuan Chengdu, while Lu Feng used 4. Kill it with a move. From this point of view, the strength of the two is actually about the same. At least using Yuan Chengdu as a reference, there is not much difference between the two. This is why Li Yuanba is looking forward to the showdown with Lu Feng. At this time in Yangzhou City, Lu Feng had naturally been paying attention to the fight between the various princes. Although the other princes were surprised by Li Yuan's sudden force, Lu Feng, who knew the history, had no feeling at all. Watching Li Yuan's sons and daughters lead troops to attack everywhere, and have achieved great results. Dou Jiande, Wang Shishang, Yu Wenhua and others who had some strength have been eliminated by them, which made Lu Feng very itchy. Although Li Yuan will gradually strengthen as he acquires more and more territory, Lu Feng is not worried that he will pose too great a threat to himself. After all, while he needs to capture as many as possible to obtain more troops and talents, his troops do not need to be obtained from this world. In his Three Kingdoms world, his millions of troops have already formed a powerful fighting force, and they are ready to go and can come to this world to join the battle at any time. But even if he doesn't envy Li Yuan, why doesn't he want to send troops as soon as possible to seize more territory so that the incoming Dragon Kingdom army can have more ground? It's just that it's easier to conquer a country than to defend it. Even if he attacks now, he can still easily capture a lot of territory, but he doesn't have enough troops to hold all the territory he has captured. Therefore, Lu Feng had no choice but to continue waiting. After he had the entire Jiangdu county in his pocket, he could let Taishi Ci, Zhang Liao and others who stayed in the late Han dynasty come with a large army. Because of the existence of the transfer hall, the direct troops of the Dragon Kingdom are absolutely loyal to Lu Feng, and they are all high-level soldiers starting from at least the 3rd level arms. According to the level of soldiers, 1 2nd-level soldier can fight 3 1st-level soldiers alone, while 1 3rd-level soldier can fight 3 2nd-level soldiers alone. Almost every level has a 1 to 3 advantage against the previous level. According to this combat power, the 100,000 ordinary soldiers of the Dragon Kingdom are enough to equal the 900,000 soldiers of the Sui and Tang dynasties. Therefore, Lu Feng is not worried at all that Li Yuan can defeat him if he develops before him. Feeler reminds you, 3 things about reading, collecting and recommending. Three Kingdoms, I Have a Job Transfer Palace. Author, Strong Wine Burns the Heart. Chapter 464. Lu Feng was in his mansion, thinking about how the Dragon Kingdom army would conquer the world soon after it came to this world. Suddenly, there was a sound of footsteps outside the door. A moment later, the guard's voice sounded, "Your Majesty, we just received news from the soldiers guarding the city. There are 2 people outside the city who claim to be Wei Zheng and Shan Xiangxin, saying that they want to join your Majesty." Lu Feng listened to the guard's words. He was stunned for a moment, but he still said, "I know, let them enter the city and bring them to the living room to wait for me." The guard followed the order and left, while Lu Feng thought on the side, Shan Xiangxin has come to seek refuge with him. It is also understandable, after all, Shan Xiangxin is the boss of the 9 provinces of Green Forest, and he is generous with money. Because his eldest brother was accidentally killed by Li Yuan, he is determined to avenge his eldest brother. There are not many people in the world who can confront Li Yuan head-on. Historically, Shan Xiangxin turned to Wang Shishang for revenge. As a result, Wang Shishang defeated Li Tang and he was also killed. Now that Wang Shishang has been killed by Li Yuan, it can be said that there are almost no capable princes in the entire north. Therefore, if Shan Xiangxin wants to take revenge, he can only go south and seek refuge with the princes in the south. Among the forces in the south, although the Dragon Kingdom is not the one with the largest number of troops and the largest area, it is definitely the most powerful in combat. After defeating Yuan Chengdu and the 200,000 Sui army, this point no longer requires too much effort. Prove. Therefore, Shan Xiangxin wanted to avenge his elder brother, and the only one in the world who could confront Li Tang was his own Shenlong Empire, so he had no other choice. However, Lu Feng really couldn't understand why Wei Zheng chose to join the Dragon Kingdom. If according to the development of history, he should not have taken refuge with Li Yuan and Li Jiancheng after leaving Wei Gongji, and finally became the prime minister of the Tang dynasty. Why is he now mixed up with Shan Xiangxin and coming to Jiji? But since he couldn't figure it out, Lu Feng didn't think about it himself. Instead, he waited for a while and then walked to the living room, ready to ask him directly face to face. Although Lu Feng wanted to know about Wei Zheng, he did not rush to the living room. After all, as the king of a country, he had to ensure his aura. Although both of them have relatively top abilities in the world, especially Wei Zheng, who has left his name in history, they have not achieved much now. Now they are not worth mentioning in front of heroes like Lu Feng who have unified the era of feudal states in the late Eastern Han Dynasty, so Lu Feng has to make them wait for a while before arriving. This will not make Wei Zheng and Shan Xiangxin feel despised by Lu Feng. After all, Lu Feng will not keep them waiting too long. Moreover, waiting appropriately will show that you have taken time out of your busy schedule to meet them, which will in turn show that you are polite and virtuous. A quarter of an hour later, Lu Feng arrived at the meeting hall and heard Shan Xiangxin and Wei Zheng talking quietly outside the door. However, they stopped communicating when they heard someone approaching the door and looked towards the door together. Then Lu Feng pushed the door open and saw Wei Zheng and Shan Xiangxin, the first two people who took the initiative to seek refuge with him after he came to the world of Sui and Tang dynasties. One of them was tall and mighty, with a face like a spiritual official and a red beard, exuding a reckless and heroic temperament. To read the ununderlined version of the novel, please download Fei Lu Xiao. 3 Kingdoms, I Have a Job Transfer Palace. Author, Strong Wine Burns the Heart. Chapter 465. Needless to say, this person must be Shan Xiangxin, nicknamed Red-Haired Lingguan and known as Yuntian Xiao Guan Yu. It is precisely because Shan Xiangxin is a man of justice and wealth, and is too loyal, that he does not follow the rules and regulations in the army. Therefore, he is not a qualified general, but he is indeed a good hero. The other person was dressed as a scribe. Although he did not have a feather fan, he also wore a silk scarf. Although his appearance was ordinary, his eyes showed the light of wisdom. This person must be Wei Zheng, the Sizaj. Lu Feng came in and looked at the two of them. They had also been observing Lu Feng. When they saw a person suddenly entering the reception room, he not only had an extraordinary demeanor, but also had the confidence of a superior in his eyes. Such momentum must be possessed by only Dragon Emperor Lu Feng in the Shenlong Empire. So the two of them stood up and worshipped without waiting for Lu Feng to speak. Wei Zheng, Shan Xiangxin, a common man, has met His Majesty the Dragon Emperor. When Lu Feng heard them introduce themselves, he smiled and said, "The names of the two of you are here. This world is like thunder, and I have admired it for a long time. Mr. Wei is known as Zuj. He is the best in the world in both government affairs and military affairs. It is under the leadership of Mr. Wei that Weigong village has grown and prospered. Mr. Shan Lao Beizai is even more famous in the world for his righteousness and wealth. He is also very good at martial arts. I am really happy that talented people like you have come to join the Dragon Kingdom, but there is one thing I still don't know, and that is this: the princes of the world are rising together. Why did you two choose the Dragon Kingdom?" Wei Zheng had the unique reserve of illiterati, so he did not say anything. Xiangxin took the lead and said, "Li Yuan in the north has a strong military, but his conduct is not what others despise, so he did not go and seek refuge with Li Yuan. The only one in this world that can compete with Li Yuan is His Majesty's Shenlong Empire, so I have come to seek refuge with you." Lu Feng listened to Shan Xiangxin's words and said, "Really, but Li Yuan holds hundreds of thousands elite soldiers, and his 4 sons and daughters are all outstanding. Looking at the Dragon Kingdom, the direct troops under my command are only more than 20,000, and the rest are prisoners who surrendered after the defeat of the Sui dynasty and other forces. Why do you think I have the ability to compete with Li Yuan? Lu Feng's words made Shan Xiangxin embarrassed for a while, but he was speechless. After all, in his heart, he did not particularly believe that Longuo could defeat Li Tang. As Lu Feng said, although the combat effectiveness of his direct troops was extremely strong and could not even compete with the 200,000 strong army of the Sui dynasty, the combat effectiveness of Li Yuan's army was much stronger than that of the Sui army. Especially his fourth son Li Yuanba. Shan Xiangxin had close contact with Li Yuanba when the 16th Root rebels besieged Wei County. Not to mention anything else, just the 2 drums, urns, and golden hammers each weighing 400 kilograms are not something that ordinary people can hold. He alone can withstand an army of millions. Such a person, the Dragon Kingdom, what can be done to resist? However, apart from Li Tang, Longuo is indeed the only force that has the hope to compete with Li Tang. Although in Shan Xiangxin's heart, this hope is very slim, it does not leave him without hope. However, this was Shan Xiangxin's idea, and he did not dare to let Lu Feng know about it. It was precisely because of this that Shan Xiangxin didn't know where to start when faced with Lu Feng's problem. Filu reminds you, 3 things about reading, collecting and recommending. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. 3 Kingdoms, I Have a Job Transfer Palace. Author, Strong Wine Burns the Heart. Chapter 466. Lu Feng saw that Shan Xiangxin was silent and knew that it was helpless for him to seek refuge with the Dragon Kingdom. He wanted him to tell how the Dragon Kingdom could defeat Li Yuan. As an outsider, he must not have the confidence. However, Lu Feng did not expose it, but turned to look at Wei Zheng and said, I have already guessed the purpose of Master Shan coming to our Dragon Kingdom, but why Mr. Wei chose the Dragon Kingdom is puzzling to me. I also ask Mr. Wei to clear up my doubts. Shan Xiangxin suddenly felt embarrassed when he heard Lu Feng's words, but Wei Zheng said with a smile, Your Majesty is a genius. Not only did he kill Yuan Chengdu with a few moves, but also his generals, all of them are brave and invincible. Since the emergence of the Dragon Kingdom, they have captured Yangzhou and the entire Wuxing County in 3 days. In the face of several conquests by the Sui dynasty, they have been able to win consecutive battles with a force of 20,000, which surprises me. Your Majesty, the force and the abilities of the generals under your command have never been heard of in the world before. Moreover, more than 20,000 troops and horses, although few in the eyes of the princes, are almost impossible for ordinary people to gather. And your Majesty can to capture Yangzhou city in an instant. You must have prepared 20,000 troops for a long time, and they also have very strong fighting power. This requires training year after year, day after day. Yangzhou city is one of the richest men in the world today. In the land, people come and go, but your Majesty can lurk near Yangzhou city and secretly train such powerful soldiers without letting anyone know. This is a miracle in itself. Therefore, I am curious about your Majesty and your Majesty. The army and generals were curious, and they were even more curious about the Dragon Kingdom that appeared out of thin air, so I came to Yangzhou to know where the Dragon Kingdom came from. Lu Feng listened to Wei Zheng's words, and Wei Zheng nodded in surprise. Zheng's idea is that simple. After hearing this, Lu Feng stopped asking any more questions and said that he would not regret his decision to join the Dragon Kingdom today. After Lu Feng finished speaking, he turned to Shan Xiangxin, Now I am at war with Xiao Mian, the king of Xiaoliang. According to the scouts' report, Li Yuan has sent Li Yuanji and Li Yuanba as the vanguard to go south, preparing to fight me. Before I go to war with Li Tang, I must first pacify the rear and unify Jiangdong. Only then can I have no worries and fight against Li Tang with all my strength. Therefore, Shan Xiangxin, I order you to go to Yizhang immediately to assist military advisor Guojia in destroying the Liang kingdom. After the rear area is pacified, I will definitely send you as a vanguard to attack Li Yuan and avenge your brother. Shan Xiangxin thought that Lu Feng's statement just now that he knew the reason why he came to the Dragon Kingdom was just talk, and he was deceiving himself by the way. He didn't expect that he actually knew the reason why he came to the Dragon Kingdom. However, Lu Feng was able to tell him so frankly. Shan Xiang's promise to help him avenge his brother's murder strengthened Shan Xiang's confidence a lot, so he immediately clasped his fists and said, "I obey." After Shan Xiangxin finished speaking, he turned around to leave, but was stopped by Lu Feng. "Wait a minute, I know that you may not believe that I can defeat Li Tang, especially Li Yuan, but, so I will take you to a place first to let you see it." Lita Euro trademark S. Look at the methods of the immortal family. Shan Xiangxin and Wei Zheng didn't know why, and Lu Feng didn't explain, and walked out of the living room first. To read the underlined version of the novel, please download Fei Lu Xiao. Three Kingdoms, I Have a Job Transfer Palace. Author, Strong Wine Burns the Heart. Chapter 467. Wei Zheng and Shan Xiangxin looked at each other and had no choice but to follow Lu Feng. Lu Feng took the two of them to the deep mountains outside Luoyang City. What surprised Shan Xiangxin and Wei Zheng was that not long after they entered the mountains, they saw what seemed to be a building in the distance. After getting closer, I found that it turned out to be a strange-looking palace. A wall was built around the palace and guarded by about 100 Dragon Kingdom soldiers. When these soldiers saw Lu Feng, they all knelt down to greet him. After Lu Feng simply nodded, he led the two of them to the palace gate. At this time, Shan Xiangxin and Wei Zheng saw a plaque hanging on the gate of the palace, with the three characters "Transfer Hall" written in small seal script on it. When the two of them were looking at the job transfer palace, Lu Feng said, "This palace is the palace of the immortal family. Only those who sincerely submit to the Dragon Kingdom can enter. After entering it, you can be recognized by the immortal family and be able to rapidly improve your cultivation." Wei Zheng, aren't you curious about where these soldiers of mine come from? Just go in and take a look. And Shan Xiangxin, since you want to avenge your elder brother, you naturally need better martial arts. You guys, let's all go in and have a look. Shan Xiangxin and Wei Zheng heard this. Although they were a little skeptical, they were even more curious, so they walked in without hesitation. Lu Feng brought them to the transfer hall. Of course, he could not simply want to improve their cultivation. After all, Shan Xiangxin was only a super military general at this time and was not worth mentioning in front of the 5 dragon generals. In contrast, Wei Zheng is a super soldier, who Lu Feng needs more at this time. With his loyalty, he can share the pressure from Guojia and Sun Yu. However, they arrived suddenly. Although they all had good reasons, Feng was still worried. They needed to pass the test of the transfer hall to confirm their sincere surrender. If they were unable to open the door to the job transfer hall, then even though they were the top talents in the world, Lu Feng would have to bear the pain and get rid of them. In addition, those who pass through the job transfer hall can guarantee their loyalty to Lu Feng forever, which is what he wants. Shan Xiangxin and Wei Zheng had no ill intentions towards Lu Feng. They really wanted to join Lu Feng, so they naturally entered the job transfer hall easily. Everything in the job transfer hall surprised the two of them, especially the job transfer elves flying in the air, which completely subverted their minds. Seeing this, Shan Xiangxin and Wei Zheng have been completely conquered by Lu Feng, and they also believe that the Dragon Kingdom will be able to defeat Li Tang and even dominate the world. Shortly after the two entered, they completed their job transfers. Shan Xiangxin was transferred to the 4th rank general, while Wei Zheng was transferred to the 4th rank counselor. After completing the job transfer, Wei Zheng and Shan Xiangxin have become completely loyal to Lu Feng, so Lu Feng naturally does not have to worry about them secretly causing trouble for him. So Lu Feng personally wrote a letter and gave it to Shan Xiangxin, asking him to give the letter to him after seeing Guojia. As long as Guojia reads this letter, he will definitely know Shan Xiangxin's identity and ability and be reasonable about it. Appointment. Shan Xiangxin took Lu Feng's letter and left Yangzhou directly, rushing towards Yuzhang. After Shan Xiangxin left, Wei Zheng asked Lu Feng, "Your Majesty, since Li Yuanji and Li Yuanba have come to Yangzhou, I wonder what your Majesty's plans are." Lu Feng replied, "I have my own plans to deal with them. Before that, I have no plans to deal with them, you have other tasks." Underscore. Fei Lu reminds you, 3 things about reading, collecting and recommending. 3 Kingdoms, I have a job transfer palace. Author, Strong Wine Burns the Heart. Chapter 468. Just listen to him continue. Although the Dragon Emperor did not ambush Ximen, it seems to have given us a way to survive, but in fact this road is the most dangerous. The only solution now is that we can only continue to break out towards the North Gate. Even if Lu Buletin is the strongest at the North Gate, as long as we can successfully break out, we can join up with General Qin Kaiyan, who is defending Luocheng in the north. General Qin Kaiyan is a man of both civil and military skills. Now Pei Yuanqing surrendered to the enemy when our army was short of generals. If we could join forces with Qin Kaiyan and Chen Yejin, our army would have a chance of survival. Therefore, no matter how high the cost, we can only go all the way to the North Gate. Since Fang Xianling and Du Ruhuai, the 2 great strategists, both agreed to attack from the North Gate, and Li Jiancheng no longer hesitated. He immediately ordered the soldiers, "Okay, the army will set off towards the North Gate. No matter what the cost, we must rush out." This decision was not difficult to make. After all, although Chang'an must have been crumbling under Guojia's attack, no matter how important Chang'an is, it is just death, and it is not as important as his own life. At this time, at the north gate of Lucca City, Lu Buletin led Bingzhou Wolf cavalry to guard the door. I saw Lu Buletin taking the lead and standing under the city gate. His tall body and the Fangtian painted halberd that was more than 10 feet long could almost cover the entire city gate. Lu Buletin. The already narrow city gate, coupled with his large attack range, coupled with the force of Lu Buletin's half-step Wuji general, no matter how many people rush over, they will only be killed instantly. There is no one of his generals in the entire Tang army. Even if a few people succeeded and escaped from the city gate by luck, there were still 3,000 Bingzhou wolf riders lined up outside the city. Although they stood in place and had no impact with the attack, their combat effectiveness was still strong. After all, the gap between the 7th level King's division and the big soldiers is very big. Not only are their equipment more sophisticated, but more importantly, everyone's military strength is enough to defeat them. Therefore, the soldiers of the Tang dynasty wanted to break out, but the city gate was blocked. As long as they are so big, they can only try their best to break through the 2 lines of defense composed of Lu Buletin and Bingzhou wolf cavalry. However, one Lu Buletin almost blocked the entire city gate tightly. Coupled with the 3,000 Bingzhou wolf cavalry, the 2 million Tang troops could not rush through. After 2/4 of an hour of fighting, Li Jiancheng finally discovered that Lu Buletin, who was said to be able to fight Yuan Chengdu for hundreds of rounds without deciding the outcome, was indeed unbeatable in the entire Tang dynasty. Perhaps Pei Yuanqing could compete with him, but it was a pity that Pei Yuanqing had been captured by Li Yuanba and became his younger brother. Thinking of this, Li Jiancheng felt depressed. If he had known that there was such a big gap in military power between Pei Yuanqing and Li Yuanba, he would have left him here to challenge Lu Bu. Even if he couldn't win, he could be held back and the army could break out. Finally, after seeing that there was no hope of breaking out from the north gate, Li Jiancheng finally compromised. Since the north gate was like this, Huang Zhong must be at the east gate. If he wanted to break out, it would be difficult to break out. It would be better to just follow the route arranged by Lu Feng. Going west. After all, Lu Feng, Li Yuanba and others had already entered the city at this time. If they had waited a little longer, they would have come over. Feeler reminds you, 3 things about reading, collect, recommend, and share. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. 3 Kingdoms, I Have a Job Transfer Palace. Author, Strong Wine Burns the Heart. Chapter 469. Therefore, the task I give you is to conceal the fact that you have defected to the Dragon Kingdom, to defect to Li Jiancheng, and to become my undercover agent under Li Jiancheng. Then he secretly instigated the relationship between Li Jiancheng and Li Shimin, causing the 2 brothers to kill each other, and assisted Li Jiancheng to kill Li Shimin and take the throne of the prince. What? Wei Zheng didn't expect that Lu Feng would propose such a plan, so he couldn't help shouting out without any preparation, and the task sounded so incredible. Undercover, this was not common at the time, and it could even be said to be very rare. The most famous people in history seem to be Yi Yin, who helped Cheng Tang overthrow the Xia dynasty, Xiang Yu's uncle Xiang Bo, and Pang Tong, who presented Cao with an iron chain. Wei Zheng was full of doubts about this, and he frowned and asked, Your Majesty, not to mention whether Li Jiancheng and Li Shimin are brothers and will kill each other, but what is certain is that both of them have the appearance of heroes. Although Li Tang has basically unified the north, after all, he has not completely conquered the entire world, especially with a powerful enemy like our Dragon Kingdom on his side. How could they kill each other? If Li Tang can one day rule the world and Li Yuan becomes a veritable emperor, it is indeed very likely that they will stage a fight for the crown prince's position, but in the current situation, how can they do such a stupid thing with their intelligence? Lu Feng still smiled and said, Whether you go or not, the conflict between the 2 of them will not change. There will be a fight in the morning and evening. You are just letting them go. When Wei Zheng heard Lu Feng's words, he knew that he was already strong. Moreover, he had just arrived, and the master gave him such a big task. How could he shirk it again and again? However, Wei Zheng still said with a wry smile, We are the first one today. We met for the first time, and this task is really difficult. How do you know that I will be able to complete it? Lu Feng listened to Wei Zheng's words, put away his smile, and said seriously to Wei Zheng, Xiancheng, although this is the first time you and I have met, I know very well how capable you are, maybe even better than you yourself. All know themselves. When I say you can do it, I am definitely not putting pressure on you, but because I know that you do have this ability. When Wei Zheng heard Lu Feng's serious words, he immediately had the feeling that a scholar would die for his confidant, and immediately made up his mind to complete the task assigned to him by Lu Feng. However, Wei Zheng still asked with some doubts, Can Zheng gain your Majesty's trust? It is indeed a great blessing to conquer, but, Your Majesty, can you really rest assured that you can go alone and not be afraid that you will not come back the next time? This question arose when Wei Zheng first heard about Lu Feng's plan. At first, he thought that Lu Feng didn't appreciate him, so he pushed him out on purpose. But what Lu Feng said just now made him wonder. Expressed his recognition of himself, so Wei Zheng became more and more confused. Of course he didn't know that as long as he completed the job transfer in the job transfer hall, he would be 100% loyal to Lu Feng forever. This is the rule of the job transfer hall, and it won't change because the world is different, it's just that no one knows it except Lu Feng. After hearing Wei Zheng's doubts, Lu Feng's original serious expression suddenly laughed again. Fei. Lu reminds you, 3 things about reading, collection, push. 3 Kingdoms, I Have a Job Transfer Palace. Author, Strong Wine Burns the Heart. Chapter 470. Wei Zheng asked the question he was most concerned about, but unexpectedly Lu Feng actually laughed again, which made him confused. Lu Feng saw Wei Zheng's doubts and did not continue to deny him. Instead, he said to him, I don't have to worry about this at all. If you want to leave the Dragon Kingdom and return to the Tang dynasty because of this, then you won't come to the Dragon Kingdom specifically. I will go around the country, and even if you really surrender to Li Jiancheng because of this, there will be no loss for me. You go and instigate Li Jiancheng to kill Li Shimin. If you succeed, it will be the icing on the cake for me. If you fail, just follow ETA Euro trademark S the same now, there will be no changes, and it will not endanger me. And if you come to the Dragon Kingdom to work for me, then with your talents, I will naturally welcome you, but if you leave, the talents under my command will not, therefore, the number has decreased. Even if you go to Li Jianquan's staff and enhance Li Tang's ability as a counselor, all of this is worth mentioning in front of my absolute strength, because no matter Li Tang, no matter what conspiracy you use, you are no match for me. Of course, all of this is based on the premise that you leave the Dragon Kingdom and pretend to join Li Jiancheng. As long as your heart is still in the Dragon Kingdom, then all of this will not matter. It will happen. The most important thing is that I know that since your first choice is to come to the Dragon Kingdom, then there must be something about the Dragon Kingdom that deeply attracts you, and you have taken a fancy to a certain advantage of the big man. Therefore, as long as if I live up to you, or my Dragon Kingdom is not destroyed, you will not leave the Dragon Kingdom easily under such special circumstances. After hearing Lu Feng's words, Wei Zheng was shocked by his confidence. This is the magnanimity that a superior person, a tycoon with the ability to dominate the world, should have. Moreover, every word Lu Feng said was true. In the Dragon Kingdom, there were indeed certain characteristics that attracted him. In addition to the mysterious origins of the Dragon Empire, the most important thing was that Wei Zheng had a hunch that the Dragon Emperor was stronger than Li Yuanba. Therefore, Li Tang's trump card, Li Yuanba, is definitely not invincible on the Dragon Kingdom's side, and as long as he can defeat Li Yuanba, with the strength of the Dragon Kingdom's army and the force of its generals, Li Tang will definitely not be the Dragon Kingdom's opponent. Therefore, Lu Feng will definitely dominate the world in the end. Only by following Lu Feng can you have the power of following the dragon and ensure your own safety. As for the rest, as Lu Feng said, even if he was really attracted by Li Jianquan's temperament, joined Li Tang, and informed Li Yuan and Li Jiancheng of Lu Feng's plan, there would be no loss for Lu Feng. Maybe they would be furious and immediately go south to attack the Dragon Kingdom, but now Li Yuan's vanguard troops have marched towards Yangzhou under the leadership of Li Yuanji and Li Yuanba. In other words, the war between Li Tang and the Dragon Kingdom was inevitable and was about to start. Even if he said so, he would just advance their decisive battle slightly. The most important thing is that the relationship between Li Jiancheng and Li Shimin should have indeed created a rift for the future crown prince. It's just that they have hidden this relationship because they haven't conquered the entire world yet. At least on the surface, they are still harmonious and will not affect the morale of the military. But once he revealed Lu Feng's plan, the conflict between them would be exposed in advance. To read the ununderlined version of the novel, please download Fei Lu Xiao.